Hello everybody, it's me, the Prince of FNAF, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and hit the like button if you like to see here. With that out of the way, welcome to Throwback Wednesday, where we review a classic movie every Wednesday. And for today's Throwback Wednesday, we're going to be taking a look at the 2002 film Eight-Legged Freaks. So with that being said, let's roll the intro and get started. Before we continue with today's video, I just want to give credit to the Springer 666 for his really scary edit of the Stitch Wraith from the Fazbear Frights book series, because I used this image in my Who is the Stitch Wraith, a Five Nights at Freddy's character breakdown and analysis video. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get started with our review. So back in 2002, the world was introduced to Eight-Legged Freaks, a creature feature sci-fi horror comedy. That's a lot to take in. With an interesting cast, we had David Arquette, Carrie Werher, Scott Terra, Scarlett Johansson, Doug E. Doug, and Leon Ripley, and also Rick Overton. So this cast was just breathtaking. They really did everything they could to bring the characters that were on script to life. And even though this is not really a horror movie, it's more like a comedy, it was still an interesting and enjoyable movie, at least in my standards. So our main characters, Chris McCormick, Sam Parker, and Mike Parker, there are other characters that play a huge role in the movie, but they're not like as main as these three characters I just suggested to you. Chris McCormick is played by David Arquette. Sam Parker is played by Kira Weewarher. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. And Mike Parker is played by Scott Terra. So these characters interact extremely well. I mean, all of the characters do, including the side characters, which I haven't listed in this video, but I'm sure you can find them on the cast when you go onto Google and look up the Eight-Legged Freaks cast. But yeah, so these characters are awesome. Like I said before, I really thought they interacted well. Harlan Griffith was one of the coolest characters in the movie, I have to say, just because he was kind of like the conspiracy theorist, and he owns like a talk show. He lives up in the mountains, and he likes to talk about conspiracies involving aliens. And his whole reaction to the scenario is like, "Oh my god, it's aliens, it's aliens!" And everyone's all like, "It's not aliens, dude. They're just giant spiders." And he's like, "You're gonna tell me that that came from Earth? That is not from Earth." So he's just one of the funniest characters. Like I said, they played the roles really well. So to the story. So this kid named Mike Parker goes to visit his friend Joshua, who runs a spider farm, an exotic spider farm, I may add. And he finds out that the spiders are growing increasingly larger with every week. And Joshua tells him his feeding secrets, which are he keeps feeding them a interesting breed of cricket and grasshopper, which he's been finding in the local pond closer to his spider farm. And these are the crickets that have ingested toxic waste, because in the beginning of the movie this guy is carrying loads of toxic waste, and he misses a bunny. He tries to swerve to miss a bunny, and one of the toxic waste barrels falls off his truck and lands in the lake or river or whatever this is. I'm going to just call it a slough. And the crickets are eating the infected water, and that's what makes the spiders really big. And I like about this movie, unlike other movies, this movie had guts to explain how these things got so big. Where you got like movies like Boar that don't explain shit. But yeah, I mean, you got a young Scarlett Johansson in this movie playing the role of Ashley Parker, a kind of badass, rebellious teenager, if you will. Um, and Sam and Ashley share a great scene. It's absolutely funny where Sam is like, well, I don't like you that you're being such a, like, you're going into this badass stage, and, I worry about you, so take this. And Sam's like, what is that? Is that a stun gun? And so they, of course, have a little, disagreement, and she's like, I'm sorry, just give me the stun gun. And that actually leads to one of the funniest scenes, another funny scene in the movie. I mean, this movie is packed full of them, where, I guess her boyfriend was touching her in ways that she didn't like being touched, and she then proceeds to tase him, in the boing loings. That's as far as I'm gonna go. But so yeah, so after weeks go by and he hasn't heard from Joshua, he can't get a hold of him, and so he finds out that the spiders have mutated basically to the point where they have gotten extremely large, and the movie the movie kind of points to the fact that Joshua and his parrot got eaten by these spiders, but it's done off screen, so that sucks. Um, there's several different interconnected plots for this movie, such as Chris McCormick has some chemistry with Sam Parker, and Mike is just, oh yeah, the spiders, it's my delusional nightmare, like, but they're attacking the city and blah blah blah. And then you got Leon Ripley's character Wade, who is just this kind of greedy businessman trying to make a quick buck, and he doesn't care how he does it. And so a lot of the people in his town, because he's the mayor, are all like, "What the fuck, dude? We're losing jobs because of you. We need to shut down that mine and everything." And another great character in the movie is Pete, played by Rick Overton, and he's kind of the sort of fat, stereotypical deputy, cop. He is he is Sam Parker's deputy because she is the sheriff in the town, which is pretty cool. But I I don't know how much I can say about this movie because there's just a lot to say. There's so many different storylines. Um, Chris McCormick and Sam Parker have a thing going on. Or apparently, that's what the movie leads us to believe. Ashley is, trying to go out and be like, "Oh, I can be a badass," and Pete is just trying to, you know, go on by. Ashley's girlfriend Trent is no, not girlfriend, God. Ashley's boyfriend Trent is just, trying to survive, and there's leads to an awesome scene, one of the best scenes that I still even enjoy to this day. I still find it absolutely amazing to this day, where the jumping spider scene, where he's on the hill and his friends are getting taken out by these giant jumping spiders, and as he goes up on a jump onto a hill, he freaking kicks a spider in midair. I mean, a lot of people may think that's cliche, but I, to this day, even still find that that's the coolest scene ever. Me watching it as a kid, it's still the same as it was when I watched it as a kid. Oh my god, that dude just fucking kicked a spider in the freaking chest and in midair, like, Um, the main antagonist of the movie is a spider known as Consuela, which is this giant arachnid looking spider beetle thing. Looks pretty cool. She is set up as like the queen of the spiders. There's a bunch of different spiders in this movie, mainly orb weavers, tarantulas, and stuff like that. There does appear to be some other spiders which look made up. They just don't look like spiders that I've seen in the world. They don't. They look extremely fake. But that's one of the things about the movie. There's another incredibly bizarre scene in the movie where a spider has a fight with a cat, and they're freaking throwing each other into the drywall, and you can see imprints of them. Like, what are they doing? Fucking punching each other into the wall? I don't know. It's a hilarious scene. I mean, not hilarious. I mean, it's kind of iffy because it's funny because you would never see that, nothing that would never happen, and it's kind of messed up because, well, a spider just died, then you have the cat's owner, and they're like, oh my god, what happened? Um, but yeah, the movie's filled with a lot of action scenes, a lot of hilarious scenes. The whole spider apocalypse scene at the end is just filled to the brim of just crazy scenes. But yeah, I'd say that this movie, for what it is, I'd give it a 8 out of 10. It's a good movie. It's not a like a movie like a full on horror movie, but it's enjoyable if you want a movie that doesn't take itself seriously. A lot of people say, "Oh, they don't like this movie," but I still think that this movie holds up to this day. If you can enjoy it, then it's a fun movie. I don't think that it's a movie that necessarily takes itself seriously. I know that for a fact it jokes. It's a movie that takes itself in a joking manner. So you're not going to see a movie that has, a most solid, concrete, agenda. But I like to say that this movie is a great watch. If you're, looking for something to watch during the quarantine, give this movie a watch. It's definitely enjoyable. But I hope you guys enjoy. Do take care. And I'll see you guys in the next video.